guys, how's it going? It's Al. DraftKings Week 4 kicks off one day from right now. And I've got 5 players that I think that you should be paying attention to in tournaments because they are projecting to be under 5% in the field, which means that I think that they have a solid ceiling opportunity to get there at a very low percentage, which is how that you are going to get off of the chalk and find a way to get yourself all the way up the list in GPPs, because you don't have to play everybody. It's not like a race to see who can play the lowest percentage grouping of players. But when you do mix in some chalk, and you should be mixing in some chalk into your GPP lineups, you need to find ways to get different. So this exercise helps me find ceiling plays that are just being ignored for whatever reason. And we get after it. I also have our cheat sheet for the week for the Smizz Gang community, which is live in the Smizz Gang Discord. 3-step process for you to get there. 1, become a channel member here on YouTube or a subscriber on Twitch. Go to smizzle.tv/join. It's $5 a month. Step number 2, go to smizzle.tv/discord. Join the Discord community. Your name will be white when you go into Discord. Then step 3, go to the instructions folder. There's a nice little video and a few steps that you have to go through to link your Discord to whichever one of those 2 sites that you paid the $5 fee on. And then you got to be a little bit patient because it takes about an hour for it to sync. It syncs every hour within the hour, and then you'll have access to the cheat sheet. So make sure that you get a hold of that so it can help you build lineups in a more efficient way so you don't have to do all the research. Let me do the research. Let me give you some good plays that I think should be the core of your plays, and then build the lineups yourself. So thank you guys for being here. Drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, ring the notifications bell, and let's go.
He's a legend.
The Smizz Gang Listener League for Week 4 is going to fill early. Hell, it may fill like midday Saturday. Like last week, it filled overnight Saturday. I think it's trending to fill earlier. Only like 1,400 spots left, and I'm recording this at 10:30 on Friday morning. So get in now. $10 to enter, 3 max, $40,000. Absolutely no rake. It does not exist in the DraftKings lobby. You got to go to smizzle.tv/links. That will give you the link to the Listener League, as well as Discord, as well as my Instagram, the Twitch stream where I'm live 45 minutes before lock every single Sunday. Make sure that you take advantage of everything that we have, and make sure that you get in the Listener League. I will shout out the winner and the other top 10 finishers on Monday on the Fantasy Football channel on the Week 4 recap video. Rhamondre Stevenson projected for 4.9% this week. So he just kind of sneaks in under the radar. Yes, he is playing a very good defense. No, they are not favored. Yes, they are on the road. As long as his quarterback can, not nut punch somebody on Dallas, I think that Rhamondre is going to be fine. He's playing more than enough snaps, getting more than enough opportunities. We saw James Conner have a very good week against this same Dallas defense last week. That doesn't mean that Rhamondre is going to have a great ceiling game or anything like that, but it's not a situation where they are death to running backs, especially not pass catching running backs like Rhamondre, who on DraftKings are the key to basically everything that we do. I think that Rhamondre's volume has been more than fine. Absolutely love him at the percentage that he's at. If you're going to play a Dallas stack, or you're going to play somebody on Dallas at wide receiver, they are going to be low held too. So a secondary stack with 1 Dallas player, bring it back with Rhamondre on the other side, could provide some fruitful results. Number 2, Najee Harris. Absolutely nobody is excited about playing Najee. He's 5,500, and they're playing against the Houston Texans, who are an extremely leaky, not efficient at stopping the run defense. Now, I get it. He hasn't scored any points. He's averaging 5.7, but 1 game against Cleveland, tough defense. Game against San Francisco, tough defense. A game where they were playing from ahead against Las Vegas, a good defense to stream running backs against, he had 19 carries. Him and Warren, I think Warren's the better back for fantasy. He's the one I would prefer to be in the lead role, but he's not there right now. He's got the JD McKissick role. He's got the Nyheim Hines role. 5 to 8 carries, 4 to 6 targets. We're not going to get a lot of pass game usage out of Najee in this spot, but you do have a lot of touchdown upside. And if you can happen to break off like a 20 or 25-yard touchdown run, we could be in store for a very big day. And getting different at running back is not that difficult this week because there's so many good plays, and many of them in this 5,300, 5,200 to 6,300 range, that he's just going underheld against the defense that I don't think is going to be equipped to stop him. So Harris, very solid at 3% projectable right now. Let's go over to Underdog Fantasy Let's check. We got some changes. I'm going to refresh this. If you have not taken advantage of the deposit bonus that they have over on Underdog, they're making it very difficult for you to not to anymore, considering they have just bumped it from $100 free dollars to $500. You can get up to $500 first time deposit on your first deposit to the site, or deposit bonus on your first deposit to the site if you use promo code ALSMIZZLE. That's ALSMIZZLE. Let's take a look at Harris's 14.5 rushing attempts. I'm going to go higher than that against Houston. And let's take a look at Rhamondre, if they have any for him. Rhamondre, 54 rushing yards, 13 rushing attempts. I'm going to go higher than 76 rushing and receiving yards. We have a max of $2,000 on this one. I'm not going to do the max. I am going to do $50 on this one to try and win 3x. Submit, confirm, go claim your free $500, up to free $500. If you deposit $500, you get $500. Deposit $100, you get $100. You can use it on any of their pick'ems or best ball resurrections or anything else that they do. Battle royales are also extremely fun. I love drafting those every single Friday for the weekend slate. It's a way to draft a 6-team draft where you're playing in sort of a GPP style. Stack it up, have fun. Go check out Underdog Fantasy today. AJ Brown, the grown-ass man, coming off a 14-target game. He is going to be low held because of everyone else that's around him. Under 5%. I've got him about 4.5 right now. Everything goes. The aren't you worried about bros are the reason why AJ Brown is where he is. This team has a really, really high total this week. And guys like DeAndre Swift are going to catch ownership. Guys like his quarterback, Jalen Hurts, are going to catch a lot of ownership. But you look at the players that are around him. Devontae Adams, 8K. Keenan Allen, 7,900. Jamar Chase against the pass funnel defense, 7,800. Jalen Waddle, people want to stack this Miami-Buffalo game, 7,600. But it's not like Washington's done a good job at stopping anybody. We're looking at 30 targets through the first 3 games. We know that there's a 30-plus point ceiling for him. He has not caught a touchdown so far this year, so the squeaky wheel narrative still in place this week, coming off of that 131-yard performance against Tampa Bay, another pass funnel type team, by the way. Absolutely love AJ Brown in this spot. I like him more as a standalone. I'm probably not going to bring this back with anything on Washington in this spot. Yes, like I said, aren't you worried about bros? Aren't you worried that they're going to get up by too much and then just run the ball? Aren't you worried about Jalen Hurts stealing all of his touchdowns? Aren't you worried about this? Aren't you worried about that? When you play tournaments and you build tournament lineups, you can't be worried about. You have to worry about being right. Am I right? A. What percent of the time am I going to be right? B. And is the percentage of time that I'm going to be right greater than the percentage that the field is going to make that play? C. I think that AJ Brown has a 25-plus point day more than 5% of the time against this Washington defense. And if he does that, I think we put ourselves in a position with a completely differentiated one-off based on the salary and the price point to get ourselves there in tournaments. So that's why I have AJ Brown on this list. Apparently, the 5 under 5 is brought to you by the color brown. UPS, hit me up. Do like a collab. You know, it works. What can Brown do for you? Well, I'll tell you what Marquise can do for you. He can get you an awful lot of targets and score touchdowns and give you big playability that we have not really seen unlocked so far. Maybe because Joshua Dobbs is his quarterback. Maybe because they're playing from behind all the time. Maybe because people are aware of him. But like, nobody wants to play these Cardinals, and there's a ton of volume to be had. Zach Ertz, ton of volume. Everybody flocked to him last week. James Conner, ton of volume, scores touchdowns. Everybody flocked to him last week. Nobody wants to even consider Marquise Brown. He's only 3% on projection right now. Playing in a game against San Francisco, reputedly a very tough defense. In reality, a very tough defense. However, have we seen players or teams, diminutive wide receivers this season who have gotten a lot of volume? Maybe guys who have played against them once or twice so far, or, you know, in the 3 weeks that have been there so far, that have put up big days. Players that maybe you're not considering that had good days against San Francisco, like Puka Nacua or possibly Tutu Atwell against San Francisco. Are big games possible for a player like this? I would think so. So if a player that nobody else is considering, who we know can do it for us on one play, and provides us with the opportunity for a bring back play at a value at only 5K. We're not even having to pay up to be contrarian in this spot. A player who can be across from a CMC, a George Kittle, a Deebo Samuel, a Brandon Ayuk, a double stack bring back or a part of a secondary stack. I absolutely love the correlation with Marquise Brown at a very low percent to bring down some of the chalkier plays that are on the San Francisco side. And if we get any sort of push-pull out of this game, like we did with Debo and Puka or Debo and Tutu back in week 2, we could be looking at some serious money by the end of the day. You also get the added bonus of it being one of the later games. So I like having late swap ability in lineups because if my early players go off, I can stay on the chalkier plays. If my early plays did not, I know I have to switch my stack to something else. So it gives you that combined variability to change your lineups halfway through the day, pending how your early plays went for you. If you smashed your early plays, you don't have to change a thing. If you didn't, you should probably be looking to get a little bit different with your later plays. And T freaking Higgins. Everybody wants to be on Chase. Nobody wants to play T because he's posted 2 bad games so far. One against Cleveland where he was 0 for 8. Balls were just off target. And then a couple of drops here against the Rams, 2 for 8. But volume over everything. 28 targets through 3 games against a pass funnel defense that's going to force them to throw the football. T. Higgins is at 2% right now. That doesn't make any sense, like at all. Absolutely love T. Higgins this week at his percentage. His price is $6,800. You can use him as a part of a double stack. I do like the Bengals doubles. If you wanted to use him as a differentiated part of a secondary stack, because I do think Chase is going to be up around 15 or 20% this week, with Higgins being at 2. T. Higgins has a 25 plus point ceiling. We know that. We've seen him get there before. This volume certainly leads itself or lends itself towards those types of ceilings. Tell me a player has 8 targets coming his way against a team that is very leaky against the pass and forces you to do that. T. Higgins at 2% seems absurd. I could see that percentage going up by the time Sunday gets here as people start to realize that he's sitting where he is and against the matchup that he's up against. Let's head over to Fantasy Labs. And it's a gray screen. There we go. If you don't have an account over at Fantasy Labs and you want to get a discounted membership, use promo code. No, don't use the promo. Use my link. smizzle.tv/labs with that uppercase L. The same usage that I used in the top stacks video. I make sure that I have at least one player that's less than 12%, but you can also build a specific player group and have at least one Rhamondre. You can just build all the guys that you think are good. You don't have to use mine. You could pick guys that you think are low played players and make sure that every lineup has at least one of those plays in it. Or you could just go with the random one and say, okay, well, give me at least one player where they're less than 10%. We're going to apply those settings, build our 150 lineups, and it's going to take some time to make sure we have the correlations and the combinations and the allocations that we want throughout this lineup. It's not going to be as easy as just click and print money, but I advise you, if you wanted to save time, use the great projections they have over at Fantasy Labs, or upload your own. Play around with the lineup builder, whether you're a mini-max player or you're a high-stakes player. It'll help you be more efficient with your time. So thank you guys for being here. Look out for another video right there.
He's a legend.